Hello. To build this thinking particles scene we need the following things. A sphere object used as reference for the particle's shape. A board which will not interact with the particles. A box object named deflector box which will keep the particles on the board. This box has a normal modifier applied to it with flip normals enabled and is linked to a U-deflector. The U-deflector has a bounce value of 1.2 and will be linked to a thinking particles operator. We also need 5 different colored materials. Then the thinking particle system. For this system we need 2 particle groups. One named green and one named blue. In the master dynamic rollout we have 6 dynamic sets. The first is draw green. Contains a particle draw operator. This will draw the green particles to the scene. Geometry instance operator will assign the sphere shape to the particles. Size operator will set the size to 20 for the green particles. Particle age condition will assign on born event a green material to the particles. The second dynamic set is draw blue. This will draw to the scene the blue particles. It has the same operators and conditions like the draw green set, but instead of the green material will assign the blue one. It also has a velocity operator. This will give the initial impulse to the blue particles to move in the direction and with the speed you want. The third dynamic set is collision border. This will handle the collision between the particles and the deflector box. It also assigns the blue material to the particles from the blue group, and green material for those from the green group. Initial colors. The fourth dynamic set will handle the collision between the blue and green particles. If this happens we'll assign them the red material and with the repulsion bounce operator will make them bounce. All this will happen if the distance between particle centers reaches a value of 21. Keep in mind that the particle's size is 20. The next 2 dynamic sets handle the collision between particles of the same type. If both particles belong to the green group we'll get the orange material. If both particles belong to the blue group we'll get the purple material. The collision is handled in the same way, with the repulsion bounce operator. Okay. Now let's build it from the start. Select the Create tab. Click on the Geometry button. Create a sphere in the perspective view. We will use this as a geometry instance for the particles. Now let's create the board. Draw a box in the perspective view. Modify tab. From the modifiers list choose Edit Poly. Enable the Face Selection button. In the top view select all the faces. Then Alt-click and drag to deselect the faces in the middle leaving just a line on the edge. In the left view Alt-click and drag to deselect the bottom faces. Click on the Bevel button. Increase the height value and decrease the outline amount to a negative value. Close the material editor. Now it's time to create the particle system. Select the Create tab. From the drop-down list choose Particle Systems. Click on the Thinking Particles button and add one to the scene. Select it and click Properties button to open the Thinking Particles user interface. Disable Edit on the fly to see the changes in the views as they happen. Enable Show Mesh to make the geometry visible. Create two particle groups, one named green and one named blue. In the Create Rollout, click on the Operators tab. From the drop-down list choose Generator. Add a particle draw operator to the set. Right-click the operator and choose Invisible All. Click on the green spot from the output side. Leave visible only the born particle output. From the group drop-down list choose Green. This will add the particles born here to the green group. Click the Draw Particle button to enable it. In the top view, click to draw the green particles. I drew 4. You can draw as many as you wish. When it's all done, disable the Draw Particle button. Now let's add a shape and color to the particles. Select the Operators tab. From the drop-down list choose Shape. Add a Geometry Instance operator to the set. Connect the born particle output of the particle draw operator to the particle input of the Geometry Instance operator. Enable Pick Object button and select the reference sphere from one of the views. As you see, the particles instance that shape. If not, you forgot to enable Show Mesh checkbox for the group. From the Operators drop-down list choose Standard. Add a Size operator to the set. Set the size value to 20. It is important to know the size of the particles. This will help us to determine the distance between their centers, so we won't let them get closer than that. Select the Conditions tab. Add a particle age condition to the set. Connect the born particle output to the particle input of the particle age condition. Make sure the born radio box is checked. Select the Operators tab. From the drop-down list choose Material. Add a Shape Material operator to the set. Make the ON input visible for this operator. Connect it to the out of the particle age condition. Connect the born particle to the particle input. Open the Material Editor and drag the green material to the material spot in the Shape Material operator. The particles from the green group will get the green material only when the particle age test is true. The test will be true on the born event. Close the Thinking Particle user interface and drag the time slider to see if all is okay. The particles get the green material on born, but they disappear after the frame 30. To solve this, we have to increase the particle life of the green particles. Open the TP user interface and select the particle draw operator. Increase the lifespan value to 200. We have to add some action. Open the Thinking Particles UI. Create another dynamic set and name it Draw Blue. The default lifespan is 30. Increase it to 200. Enable Draw Particle button, and draw two particles in the top view. When finishing, disable the Draw Particle button. This particles we will give an initial speed and direction. From the operator's drop-down list, choose Standard. Add a velocity operator to the set. Connect it to the particle draw operator. In the user direction axis, set X to -1 and Y to 1. Drag the blue material to the shape material operator. Close the user interface to see the changes. As you say, the particles do not interact with the environment in any way. We have to make them stay on the board. In the Create tab, Geometry, choose Standard Primitives. Draw a box around the particles. Scale it to match the board size. Make sure Flip Normals is enabled. Set the bounce value to 1.3. This will increase a bit the speed of the particles as they hit the deflector box. Select the deflector box and hide it. Thinking Particles System. You can see the U deflector binded to the TP system. Open the Thinking Particles user interface. Create another dynamic set and name it Collision Border. This will handle the collision between the particles and the deflector box. From the operators list choose Dynamics. Add a standard collision operator to the set. Connect it to the P-pass operator. From the Conditions tab choose Standard Collision. Add it to the set. Connect it to the P-pass operator. Also add a inch group test from the Conditions tab. Link it to the P-pass operator. From the Helpers tab choose the Helper and add it to the set. Link the two conditions to it. This means that if both are true, the Helper is true also. Make the on input visible. Connect it to the out of the Helper. Connect the P-pass particle output to the particle input of the shape material operator. OK. This will test all the particles. If they hit the deflector box and they are from the blue group, the blue material will be assigned to them. When the particles collide with each other, they will get a different material. We want them to get the initial color when they hit the border. Create another dynamic set and name it Collision Blue plus Green. This will handle the collision between the two particle groups. Enable the A position and B position outputs. We will need this to calculate the distance between particles. For the group A, choose blue, and for the group B, choose green. From the Conditions tab, add a distance test to the set. Connect A position output to the position 1 input and B position to position 2. Set the radius to value to 21. If the distance between particle centers reach this value, the condition will be true. Outputs of the P-pass AB operator to the particle inputs of the Repulsion Bounce operator. Select the Repulsion Bounce operator and set the repulsion to 1.2. This operator will handle the physics for the colliding particles. Check the particle draw operators to see if they assign the particles to the green and blue groups on birth. The green group is fine. The group for the blue particles was set to all. Set it to blue. Now the particles behave like they should. They move a little slow. To increase the speed of the particles as they collide, check the repulsion bounce operator settings. Open the Thinking Particles user interface. Create a new dynamic set and name it. For the group A, choose blue. For group B, choose also blue. This set will contain all the operators and the conditions from the other set, so we will speed up a bit. The only change is that instead of assigning the red material, we will assign the yellow one. The final dynamic set will be named collision green plus green, and will handle the collision between the green particles. Contain the same operators. The difference will be that the P-pass-AB operator will have group A set to green and group B set also to green. The other difference is that the material assigned to the colliding particles will be the purple one.